Everyone had a good time. Seems like forever ago since I last been on, but we'll recap the last Thursday's picks. We did go 1-3 on Thursday. Totaled up to a 6-11-1 week. Not great. Week total was minus 2.5 units. So over the last 2 weeks, we are still up 3.16 units, but obviously a tough way to end the week. Our Wednesday and Thursday picks finished 1 for 7 after starting off pretty hot to start last week. So hopefully we'll start off pretty well again this week, despite having only a short week here, starting on Tuesday. But we'll get right into it. First, we're going to start in the NBA. One pick here. I like the Bucks at plus 140 versus the Heat. I do. I think the Bucks are too good to lose in 5 games. I know they have looked bad, and obviously Giannis is questionable. I don't believe they've made a decision on him yet so far, at the point of this show anyway. Obviously look into that and then play this as you will. But even if Giannis doesn't play, I still like the Bucks to win. And obviously you can get a much better price on this if Giannis does in fact get ruled out. I kind of believe that he'll give it a shot. The reports I saw that said he was feeling pretty similar to the way he was feeling before Game 4, which obviously he went out and played before getting injured a little bit more. But I really just think that the Bucks are gonna bounce back here. They won last game without Giannis. I think that's a huge motivation factor for them. It gives them a lot of confidence, especially being down 3-0. But the 3-point shooting's been bad for the Bucks, and I just think it has to get better. I think they shot, around 40% in Game 1, which obviously was good, but they lost. But then in the last 3 games, they've shot 30%, 30%, and 31%. So that's below league average in shooting, and obviously the Bucks are an above average shooting team. So I think law of averages apply, that they have to get better here, and I think that'll lead to a better performance and hopefully a win. So yeah, like I said, if you don't feel comfortable taking this without Giannis playing, totally understandable. The line would jump up a pretty significant amount, I would assume, as Giannis is the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, all that. But I do like the Bucks here at plus 140. Even if Giannis doesn't play, I'm going to keep this one. So definitely just something to look out for. But that is my NBA play for today. And we will get into the MLB with the first pick being the Tigers at plus 135 versus the Brewers. This line's actually moved a decent amount since last night. I believe they were around plus 110, plus 115. Excuse me. But they're up to plus 135 now versus the Brewers. Spencer Turnbull's on the mound for Detroit, who's 3-2 with a 3.89 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. And he is going up against Adrian Hauser, who is 1-3 with a 5 ERA and 1.47 WHIP. So obviously, right off the bat, you can see that there's an advantage for Turnbull here. We've gone with Turnbull, I think, a time or two on this show, and I think he's done all right for us. And we're going to go back with him again today, as he does have a slight pitching advantage over Hauser. But also, not only do they have the pitching advantage, the advantage goes to the plate too. The last 2 weeks, the Tigers are number 1 in batting average, hitting 306, while the Brewers are 22nd, hitting just 229. But the Tigers are also 5th in on-base percentage, 7th in slugging, and meanwhile the Brewers rank 15th and 22nd in those respectively. Another reason why I like Turnbull here, though, he's only allowed 1 home run in his 34 and 2/3 innings pitched. He does have some control issues, I will say that. He's walked 23 batters in his 34 innings. And as of late, the Brewers have been drawing walks at the second highest rate, obviously in the last 2 weeks. So that might be a little bit of concern for Turnbull, but I really don't think that that trend really matches out too much here, as there is a big advantage at the plate. And like I said, still an advantage in starting pitching. The bullpens, I looked into those. They're pretty even. There's not much separation there. You could probably give a slight edge to the Brewers, but not really enough of an edge to throw some numbers on it. But like I said, with the hitting advantage and the starting pitching advantage, I'm definitely going to roll with the Tigers here. And I think you get them at a pretty good price at plus 135. And next game on the docket, we are going for the Rangers at plus 115 versus the Angels. I've said before, I will never go with the Rangers unless it's Lance Lynn on the mound. And lucky enough, we get him. He's 4-2 with a 2.67 ERA and does still have a sub-1 whip. He's going up against Julio Teheran, who is 0-2 with right around an 8 ERA and 1.59 whip. So Lynn's done good for us. I think he's the only good pitcher on that team. And because it's the Rangers, you're going to get him at an underdog price most of the time. And we do have them here as slight underdogs, and we're going to roll with them. And obviously, I do want to say I don't think that Julio's numbers will be this bad for the whole season. I definitely think that he's a better pitcher than that, but he is struggling right now, and Lance Lynn is pitching extremely well. So we're going to go with the advantage there. Plus, we go into the trends. It's a weird trend. The Angels have been all around. They're top of the leaderboards in some things, and then down towards the bottom and others. But overall, I will say the Angels do have the better batting stats in the last 2 weeks, while the Rangers do have a little bit of a better bullpen. But I really don't think the numbers, again, are really worth getting too much into. So really a lot of this pick is being based on the Rangers pitching being able to limit the runs allowed. Hopefully Lance Lynn can go 7 innings, allow only a run or two, and then hopefully the Rangers can manufacture some runs and get them a win. But yeah, I definitely expect this to be a low-scoring game, as both teams have been pretty bad. The bullpens are actually like top 5 worst in most stat categories, I believe. But the Rangers do have the ever so slight advantage, however you want to take it. So I think this will be a low-scoring game, and I'm hoping that the Rangers can squeak across a few runs here and there and get a win. And the third MLB game of the day, the Marlins at even money versus the Braves. I just want to put the disclaimer out there right now. This is 100% me rolling on Sixto Sanchez because, not going to lie, the hitting stats are heavily in the Braves' favor. But anyway, Sanchez is 1-1 on the year. He's got a 2.37 ERA and a 1 flat whip. He's going up against Kyle Wright, who's 0-3 with a 7.2 ERA and 2.2 whip. So right off the bat, I'll come out and say that both of these pitchers have thrown less than 20 innings. But when you look at it, Sanchez's numbers really stick out. He's pitched 19 innings this year. He has 19 Ks and just 1 walk. So I'm a big fan of his right now. I think he's got a lot of potential, but regardless of potential, he's pitching well right now. And throwing a lot of my confidence in this bet is off of hoping Sanchez has a good outing. He's 3-3 so far on quality starts this year, so I'm hoping for another one today, make it 4 for 4. But there are some trends that point in the Marlins' favor. Their bullpen is 5th in batting average of balls in play, while the Braves are 15th. And Miami's bullpen is also top 10 in ERA and home runs allowed per 9. And I use the home run stat there because the Braves have been a very good hitting team recently. Like I said, they have a pretty sizable advantage at the plate. If I went into those numbers, you probably feel a lot less confident in this pick. But I am always a fan of pitching over hitting. That's no surprise here. So I got an advantage at starting pitching, a pretty big advantage in the bullpen as well. And I'll go against the numbers at the plate and hope the Marlins can edge one out here at even money versus the Braves. And the last pick of the day, hear me out. I know it's a juicy one to lay, but the Dodgers minus 2.5 runs on the run line at plus 115 versus the Diamondbacks. And I know 2.5 is a pretty good amount to lay, especially when you're only getting plus 115. But we're doing it here because Walker Buehler's on the mound for the Dodgers, who's been a pretty above average pitcher so far. He's 1-0, 3.6 ERA, and does have that sub 1 whip, which I always love to see. And he's going up against Luke Weaver, a fade favorite of the show, if you will. He's 1-6 on the year, 7.44 ERA, and a 1.59 whip. So I'll just say Luke Weaver has been one of, if not the worst starting pitchers in the MLB this season. I mean, his numbers are just really bad. He's got a good sample size to go into it. We've been going up against him every time we get the chance. And you're going to give me the Dodgers against him, and I'm definitely going to jump all over that. I will say Buehler isn't anything super special, but he is above average in terms of ERA, and his whip is fantastic so far this year. But I know, too, that's not enough to give you guys the 2.5 runs, so we'll go more into it. The last 2 weeks, the Diamondbacks are the worst team in the MLB in both batting average and batting average balls in play. So it's not just that they're striking out a lot. It's the fact that when they hit the ball, they're just popping out, flying out, routine groundouts, all of that. And they also rank 28th in the MLB in base percentage and slugging. So no matter what way you cut this up, the Diamondbacks are probably the worst hitting team in baseball right now, and it's been more than just this 2-week stretch. It's probably been the last month or so that they've been pretty horrific at the plate. And while the Dodgers numbers are a little bit down at the plate, they still rank in the top half of the league. I should just throw that out there. They're no longer, in terms of last 2 weeks, they're no longer like one of those top 5 teams. They now rank more towards 12 and 13 in most places. But the Dodgers also do have the bullpen advantage. In all their categories, they're average to slightly above average. But when you look at the Diamondbacks, they rank from below average to bad in most categories. I know I didn't throw the numbers in there for this one because this one was originally going to be a lean. I did throw it into the show though, so I didn't dig up all the numbers and put them in. But just know that the Dodgers do have the advantage in starting pitching, at the plate, in the bullpen, all of the above. So I like them at -2.5. I could easily see this being a blowout, and you're going to give me plus 110, plus 115 rather. I'll take it. And we got one lean on the day. It's actually the first parlay I have ever given out here. And it's pretty much just the 2 biggest favorites on the board. I just went over the Dodgers, but we're pairing them with the Padres money line, and you can get these two at around plus 105, maybe up to plus 110, depending on your book. But these are 2 guys, 2 teams with -250 money lines, I believe, right around there. And yeah, I'm just rolling with them for the first parlay ever on the show. I don't think it's like a lot of people like to fade parlays, but this one is 2 huge favorites, and you can get some plus money value on it. So yeah, we're rolling with that one. So I know there was no show yesterday, so we're coming back today with 6 picks, trying to give you guys some picks to make up for not being on yesterday. I will be back tomorrow, 11 a.m., and hopefully we do pretty good on these picks. Go at least 3 for 3, 4 and 2. Yeah, so hopefully we start off the week hot, and we can keep it going for the rest of the short week. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll hopefully see you guys back again tomorrow, and good luck on your picks.